We have Facebook on one side and YouTube on another. I'm using the microphone with YouTube, so if you can't hear me well on Facebook, I apologize. But we are making a protein pancake this morning for breakfast, and I am just now eating breakfast, and it is 10:45, and I have been up since 5 a.m. because I taught a class this morning. And it is one of my last 3 classes that I'm going to be teaching at the gym. So I am starting something new that I am going to be launching here soon, where I'm going to be taking people outside to work out. Because for so many years, I told people, hey, let's go do this with weights and inside, right? And so now I'm going to try to take people outside and see if we can't exercise together out there. But it has been 5 hours since I woke up, or over 5 hours, 6 hours at this point. And I probably need to be feeding my body because I have exercised a lot. I came home and I started working. Next thing you know, I was like, oh no, I'm almost late for my 9:30 appointment. So, then I came home and I'm starving. So here we are. And I like to use real butter. This is my favorite butter, Kerry Gold. You guys can see that. And since I have it facing me, you're going to be looking at it backwards. But I learned this little trick from my mom to take a little small bowl and put your egg in there just in case there might be a shell or maybe the egg might be bad. And this one looks good. So we will take this and we're going to put it into our banana. So what I have done is I have taken a real ripe banana and then I chopped it up like that. And then we're going to put our egg in there. We're going to put 2 eggs. And then after that, you are going to choose a protein powder that you like. I like to use this one right here by Pharmacy. It's NutriPlus. But you can use any kind that you want. I do have more success when I use something that is a meal replacement versus using something that is just a protein powder. If you do use the protein powder without the meal replacement, you might want to add just a little bit of coconut flour or almond flour to this mix. So you're making it just like a pancake batter. So I'm going to add 2 scoops of my protein powder. And again, I've tried other kinds, but this one is my favorite. And I like stuff that's plant-based because a lot of times when I eat stuff that is whey-based, it doesn't agree with me. I end up burping it up and my stomach hurts. And a lot of these protein powders are made with whey protein. And if you are lactose intolerant or if you are trying to increase your protein level, you probably want to eat something that's a little bit more plant-based. And hopefully I have not burned this butter because I tend to do that sometimes. So let me move that around and change the eyes on the stove. So you just want to mix this up like so. And I don't count calories anymore, folks. I focus on how I feel for working out and for doing my day-to-day tasks. So if I'm tired, usually a lot of times in the morning, or if I have a headache, it's probably because I'm dehydrated. And if I haven't been eating enough protein, sometimes I don't feel like I have a lot of energy either. I just haven't been eating a whole lot recently. I don't know if it's because of the weather or if it's because of other things, but I haven't really felt energized recently like I normally do. Maybe it's because we've had a bunch of rain. Anyway, hopefully you guys eat breakfast and it is not at 11 o'clock in the afternoon, but if it is, I love these protein pancakes because you can not only eat them for breakfast, but I can wrap them up and I can eat them later. Of course, it's going to taste a little bit better when it's fresh versus eating it later. But you can also put honey on it, or you can put peanut butter on it, or you can put Nutella on it, or more fruit. So I love I love the pancake idea. So while that is cooking up, how is everybody doing? Seems like there's a lot of things going on. And for me, trying to slow down a little bit more and enjoy life, because I used to not enjoy breakfast. I used to have to measure out 6 egg whites and spinach and this much of sirloin in the morning for breakfast. And I felt like, well, if I deviated from that, then I was going to get fat. Well, guess what? That's exactly what happened, because that is the story that I told myself. And so now I focus on, okay, well, how is this going to make me feel? And so I know that this is going to make me feel good because I have the right amount of carbohydrates in there. I have the right amount of protein in there. And I have the right amount of fat in there. And everything is natural. I can pronounce everything that I'm putting into my body. So watch out for some of those protein powders, because some of those may not be as good as you think they are. That's why I like being able to pronounce the ones that I can find. So try to go to maybe a health food store and ask for the plant base. And oftentimes there might be a sample packet for you to try, so you don't have to commit to the whole thing. Or maybe you have a friend that, likes a certain brand that you like. But I have been in the fitness industry for a long time, and it has come a long way. And a lot of the products that we have to lose weight taste like cardboard. Or a lot of the things that we use to lose weight have a lot of chemicals in it. So when I started, I guess, more on my health journey, I started scanning all the products that I was consuming. And even though I thought that these products were going to be good for me, these products really were not that good for me. These products had a lot of chemicals in it, and some of them were causing digestive issues, which were causing the problem that I was trying to fix. So if your body doesn't know how to digest something and you're feeding it a bunch of chemicals, then, your body doesn't know how to react. And so it's already at a deficit when you try to feed it, because it's trying to combat the chemical that you are giving it. Just because it has low fat or fat-free, sugar-free, it has to make it taste good somehow. So how is it making it taste good? It's making it taste good by adding a bunch of chemicals to it. So it's not how much you're eating, folks. It is, what are you eating? Do you know what you are eating? And how much sugar are you eating? Our bodies aren't meant to have all that bunch of sugar. And let's try to have more natural sugar instead of things that are more cane sugar. Has anybody ever looked to see how much sugar is in a Coca-Cola? Right? What is that doing to our bodies? So not only is it the chemicals that are in there that make it taste a certain way, it's got a lot of sugar. And so your body is smart. It's going to end up taking that sugar and it's going to store it into its fat cells, because it doesn't want you to pass out. And your pancreas is the one that is responsible for trying to regulate that in your bloodstream. So if you're eating a bunch of sugar and you're eating a bunch of salt, then your body doesn't know what to do with all of that. And so it stores it in the only way that it knows how, or it tries to excrete it out of your body. Your skin is your biggest organ. So if we're putting a bunch of chemicals on our body in the form of lotions or these insect repellents, folks, using off is one of the worst things that you can probably do for yourself. Or inhaling sunscreen as you're putting it on your skin. Not only are you putting the chemical on your skin, but now you're inhaling that chemical. And just because you can buy it at the store, folks, doesn't mean that it is healthy for you. So download the Yuka app, Y-U-K-A. I love that one so much better than the MyFitnessPal. When I teach my health classes, I give them an option if they want to do the MyFitnessPal or the Yuka app. And I like the Yuka app a lot better because it gave me the freedom to be able to eat whatever I want to eat. I don't have to measure and weigh out things like I always used to do, because that wasn't fun for me. My body felt like I was on an experiment all the time. Well, I got to make sure that I eat this many calories, and I got to make sure that I exercise this many calories out, that is a bad, bad relationship with food, because you're not even focusing on what the food is supposed to be doing, right? You're focusing on, if I eat this, I'm going to be able to lose weight. It doesn't even taste good. And for me, food should taste good. The original recipe that I used to use for this protein pancake called for a sweet potato. Now you can use a sweet potato if you want to. But for me, I like using a banana because it makes it a little bit sweeter. So again, it was 2 eggs, and then I used whatever protein powder that you want to use. I chose this one, right? And you order it online from pharmacy. That's the way I like that it tastes. Plus, they also sponsor a athletic team at a college, I believe, in Florida, and that to me means more, because these athletes, if they weren't performing well, then they wouldn't be using that product, right? So I like to do my research on the types of things that I use for supplementation, because there's a lot of stuff out there, folks, stuff that isn't good. Stuff like C4, scan a C4 on the Yuka app. Just do that. And that is one of the main, supplements that they have in the refrigerator as soon as you go into the gym at most places. Or, those 5-hour energies. That's not giving you energy. That's giving you a bunch of chemicals, and it's tricking your body to thinking that, it has energy when it does not. So it is important to make sure not only that you're supplementing with good stuff, but that you're eating good food. And if you take your dog to the vet because it doesn't feel good, the first thing that the vet's going to ask you is, what are you feeding it? But yet a doctor doesn't ask us what we're feeding ourselves. So this is a protein pancake, and I feel like putting some honey on mine this morning. So I like local honey. It tastes a whole lot better. And I did do research to see if using a wooden spoon is better than using a metal spoon, because someone told me that if I put a metal spoon in here, then it takes away all of the nutrients that the honey gives you, and therefore all you're left with is just the flavor of honey, but not the medical benefits from the honey. So you want to use a wooden spoon, and this is the one that I have. And I don't put, and then after I put whatever honey that I want to put on here, I will let it sit in the jar so I don't put it back in here, because I don't have another way to store it, right? So after I wash it, I just put it back in this little jar here, and then it is ready for the next time that I want to use this honey. There we go. And we're going to feel like our Pooh Bear this morning. Yum. All right. Here comes our taste test. Our protein pancake. Look how quick that was, folks. And you can make this little snack for later on in the day. And you can put peanut butter or Nutella on it. That's what I do a lot of times. And this is a whole lot better for you. And I'll tell you, if you make yourself breakfast in the morning, when you make yourself food, that tells yourself that I love me. Because if you tell yourself, well, I don't have time to eat, and I need to go through the drive-through, what is that telling your body? That you don't have time for you. You don't have time in order to take the time to nourish yourself so that you have the energy, right? So make yourself something to eat. Don't go sit in the drive-through. It's not good for you. Do you know how they made that stuff? Do you know if the person in the back washed their hands? I mean, these are things that you have to consider, right? And a lot of people, they think they what they eat doesn't matter. And then they rush to the doctor because they're sick. Or they rush to the doctor because they have an allergy. Well, maybe you have an allergy to a food. Maybe you're eating so terrible that your body is at a deficit. So then when it does see that allergen, it doesn't know how to fight it because it's already at a deficit trying to fight something else that you gave it, whether it's a sunscreen that you put on your body or a chemical that you put in your body. So download the Yuka app. I didn't start losing weight until I started looking at what I was actually putting in my body. For real. And how I felt when I did that thing. Whether it was drink a substance, or whether it was eat a food, or whether it was listening to some music, or whether it was hanging around somebody. How does it make you feel when you do that? All right. So if you want to know the recipe for the pancake, it is 2 eggs, a mashed banana, and whatever protein powder that you want. If you just use protein powder and not a meal replacement, you're going to have to add coconut flour, or you're going to have to add coconut flour, was almond flour to it. All right. I hope you got something out of this. If you did, leave me a comment and let me know if you tried this recipe and if you liked it. Bye-bye.